guys? It's Kayla, once again with KaylaAlexandria.com and Moments in Melon, and I'm talking to the one and only Charlemagne the Guy. You guys already know what it is. Good to see you.
Kayla, how are you? What's happening?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for being here and taking a moment to chat with us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. You know, I've met you a few times, but I've never had the chance to formally interview you. And I always said when I did, I wanted to really thank you for, first of all, using your platform the way that you have and allowing us to see your evolution from start to finish. I really appreciate you being so transparent. And, you know, we've seen you grow. We've seen your opinions change on things. We've seen your ideologies change on things, and I appreciate you for being willing to change, especially as a black man that has such an influence on our culture. So thank you for that.
Thank you. That's the greatest compliment I get nowadays, and I've been hearing that a lot. I hear those words, evolution and growth, and people saying they see it. So to me, that's what life is all about, because I feel like if you're not growing every day, you're dying. So
absolutely, and it really matters, and we really recognize it. I want to know, was there any time in your career or any moment that you had specifically that gave you the notion that it's time for me to really share my experiences? I know with your book, you know, from Black Privilege to Shook One, you know, how was that transition? What happened that caused you to really say, it's time for me to share this information?
Well, I think anybody that's been following me for a long time, they know I've always been pretty transparent about things. I think when I started going to therapy, it made me more vulnerable, so to speak, because I was at that point in my life where I was like really confused about a lot of things, like a lot of things that I thought I had figured out. When I started going to therapy, I realized I didn't have them figured out at all. And so for me, it's the easiest thing for me to do is just share my experiences with people, because it just helps me. It's therapeutic for me to sit down with an actual therapist. It's therapeutic for me to, you know, talk to my listeners or put it down in a book or get on my podcast or television or whatever it is. So for me, it's just something that I had to do. If not, I'd be being fake, because I'd be on the radio talking about a whole bunch of other stuff, but then I have this whole other thing going on in my mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So for me, it was just like, yo, you know what? Let me just share my experiences, you know? Because I find strength in numbers too, right?
Yeah.
A lot of times when you share your experiences, you realize that it's other people out there going through the same thing that you're going through. You know? So it makes you feel stronger to have that village behind you.